Hello everyone, welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to my channel. Sitting in the chair in the middle of my fish room, I did my significant water change, my weekly 40%, sometimes more, on all my tanks. And I do that systematically. It takes about an hour and a half. I use the Python, and I go from tank to tank to tank, and then I fill them up. And that process, along with some gardening, is about an hour and a half a week. It's a labor of love. Most of the time, I don't mind doing it at all. I find it therapeutic in many, many ways, and it certainly is part of the hobby. Taking care of our aquariums is better than thinking about them in terms of set and forget. It is not the hobby for set and forget. At times we wish it was, when we're overwhelmed or when bad things are happening, but by and large this is a more hands-on hobby than I think the average novice thinks. I think they think about our aquariums as decorations, which of course they are, but living art is probably a better description, and there's an even better description is ecosystem, which has been the word du jour for many years now, and I subscribe to that as well. So a few hours after a water change, one of the benefits of doing significant water changes is, unless you have a catastrophe, your fish are gonna love it, right? Especially certain species. And I've been focusing on the 32-gallon bookshelf tank because live bears are a fish that's always, gonna be active. But after a water change, especially when you have a population like this, many generations, babies, and it's a heavy bioload, and your ammonia and nitrates are going to rise. Now I have an intense amount of plants in every segment of this fish tank, as you can plainly see, and not only are they beautiful, but they help me with that big bioload. But of course a water change is significant and immediate, and the fish react so favorably, which is the point I was trying to get to. You get a really, what's the right word, dynamic, sparkling behavior, fins up, eyes clear, everybody interacting, super effervescent, just everything you want, and some of these tanks where nobody does any water changes, I've seen the fish, and they're different in those systems. They're much more lethargic, and that might not be a bad thing. It might be a good thing, honestly. Their metabolism, whatever, is lower, lessened, but that water is not going to deliver the same effect as a freshly water changed aquarium, in my experience, for the most part. As I said earlier, unless you have a catastrophe, you forget to dechlorinate the water, you do too much, you create a lack of consistency, temperature variation is too significant. All those things, forget, assuming you don't have the problem, a water change will always bring you this absolutely joyful behavior from your fish, and not just live bears. Rainbow fish are notorious for it. I only have rainbow fish in the big tank in the dining room, so I'm gonna stay in the fish room for this. I think I might move out there to show you what that's all about. But even fish that are more comfortable in higher acidity, a more slow moving tank, like this. This is my 22.5 gallon, and it has resboras, and it has tetras, all different kinds, and many, many other creatures in it as well. But as you can see, after the water change, there's friskiness. I see two pencil fish chasing each other around. There's the dwarf golden barb just enjoying itself. The Sabua resplendens being resplendent. That's the rummy nose rasbora there. And even the honey gouramis out and about. A freshwater change triggers all the behaviors that fish are capable of. You will get hunger, you will get spawning, mating, you will get flashing, you will get whatever scientists call play in fish, just a lot of rambunctious tootling about, right? I don't see any negative behavior here. I see a lot of positive behavior here, a bunch of different creatures interacting and getting along without a moment of hesitation or concern. Now this tank is always going to be an anomaly. Water changes or not, the fish tend to want to be in the back, in the plant cover there. Now you see a group of pencil fish right there, and they're out in front, which is a lot of fun. I actually have two species in here now, the red Bexford and some coral reds, and they might be schooling together. As a matter of fact, I'm almost certain they are. And you see the glorious young but growing longfin plecostomus, and of course some of the show-stopping. Actually, there's just one for right now, which is unusual. If you know this tank, you know that those longfin albino coreodoras love to be front and center. Now you see a few of them, some in the background. And of course, endlers will be endlers. I've got some male black fires and one female. Poor girl, she's just always under the gun with them. Maybe I'll catch her out, but in a way, I'm not raising endlers, except for I have a female in this tank and a female in the other tank, and it allows me to harvest young when I see them, if I want them, or leave them in the tank to either survive and grow up or become incredibly healthy fish food. This tank had the same water change. It also has that hideous reflection, but I can't say that I'm getting dynamic, frivolous, and joyful behavior from a lot of the schooling fish in black, or in back, the green neon tetras. You see them like jewels. They are, look at that, isn't that cool how you just see the blue shimmer behind the pogostemon octopus and in front of the super red mini Ludwigia? That blue-green shimmer, so cool. Like Christmas ornaments that you stick deep into the tree, and the mystery of them is part of what makes them so, so cool. What makes decorating a tree so cool is not just sticking them all at the outer, but here are some inner. There's quite a few of them, and I haven't lost one ever, knock on wood. So their behavior is just their behavior, reclusive, and the pencil fish can be guilty of that, but and the honey gourami, but he or she is out right now, probably a male. Still, I wanted to just make this video because for all the debate about water changes, and I'm a big believer, nobody ever talks about kind of the fun aesthetic aspect of it, in that, regardless of your point of view, you're going to get a behavior change when you make a significant water change. And for me, in most of my tanks, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. I love it. Let's go down over to this one, which also got a water change. This is the Uagumi with the Vietnamese white clouds. And they're always doing this, so I don't know how significant the change was in this aquarium, but I don't want to abort my statement It's not 100%. It's for big community tanks and certain species like live bears and rainbow fish. And by live bears, you know, I mean a whole bunch of different kite organisms, from guppies, swordtails, platies, mollies. That new water just does wonders for them. Now in a more subdued aquarium like this, or mega planted like that, I mean, the plants are doing great and the fish are fat and happy, but these are smaller systems, smaller fish, very high acidity, and the water change doesn't do quite what I'm saying it does in all my tanks. This is the Endler, kind of crazy Endler tank. I hardly ever feature this. It's not really, it's beautiful in its own way, but it also is kind of an it is what it is tank. The plants and the fish are extremely happy. I did mix strains of Endlers, and once you do that, you know, the F2 generation are gonna be mutts. So my Black Fire Endlers and my Gold Endlers and my Santa Maria Endlers, which I see all of the males right now, and I could catch them out and they'd be purebred, but it won't be long before that's just a conglomeration. And those fish are always feisty and joyful. All right, everybody, I hope you appreciated my opinion and my observation about goings on in the fish room and the seldom talked about fun part of a water change, getting extravagant, joyful, and buoyant behavior from your fish. Okay, everybody, always keep your hands in the tank, albeit carefully, and ciao for now.